feeling embarrassed to be in front of her. Unfortunately, the impulse to allow a single facet of a person to form your overall opinion of them can lead to far worse outcomes than unnecessary embarrassment. All too often, we will let a single difference in viewpoint or association be enough to write off another person entirely, even if we know nothing else about them. A lot of people have used some variation of the phrase, "I used to like you until," on me throughout my life. I used to like you until you told me how you voted, or I used to like you until you told that joke, or I used to like you until you got food coloring all over our apartment from popsicles that were mine in the first place. I know you apologized, but you posted a YouTube video you made dancing around with them called "It's Popsicle Time, Bitch" just minutes later, which made the apology mean a lot less. Okay, that last one might have been fair. Sorry, Amelia, I really am. There are, of course, many legitimate reasons to write people off. What is never a good reason, though, is on behalf of a partisan political power scheme that cares nothing for you other than as a pawn for its own ends. This scheme has unfortunately been increasingly successful. Blinded by outrage, we're missing the reality that it's rarely, if ever, as simple as one team versus another. Issues are often nuanced and complex, and people always are. By the end of this book, you'll be reminded of this reality, and also see how, the more divided and tribal and polarized we become, the more we'll lose. We miss out on opportunities to connect or even collaborate, all while people in power over us turn us against each other for their own gain. I begin this book by calling myself out not because it's fun, but because it's important. Throughout this book, in fact, you'll see me be far more vulnerable than an admission that I misjudged a stranger, which is terrifying, but will hopefully show you how vulnerability might be a huge help in getting us out of this mess. Chapter 1. I work in pornography. In the past, I've told random people at parties, the kind of people you'll literally never see again but are stuck talking to for 3 to 7 minutes until you can think of some reason you have to go, that I work in porn instead of telling them I work at Fox News, because it's less controversial. I've shared this trick several times, including with New York Times reporters who were doing a piece on Gutfeld. And do you know what they did? They wrote, "Ms. Timpf, a libertarian commentator who tells friends in New York that she does pornography because," she said, "it is, quote, far less controversial than naming her employer," which made me sound psychotic and didn't even make sense logistically. I have friends who think I fuck on camera for a living? How would that even work? They come to my birthday parties and are like, "Headed to that porn girl's birthday," and I've managed to keep this ruse up despite being on literal non-fuck-related television for a decade. Other times, I simply say I work in television and follow it up immediately with a question about their job, or I just say I'm a writer. One of my favorite answers to the "what do you do for work" question is a simple "no thank you," which usually weirds people out enough to move on to something else. Dropping the Fox News bomb at a party changes the vibe of the entire thing. People will look around like, "Who let her in? She's complicit in hatred," and then pull out their child labor-built phones to text shit about me to each other. Sometimes someone will say something like, "How can you handle working at a place that's devoid of compassion for the marginalized?" Like, bro, don't you work at a bank? Oddly enough, the announcement of bank employment never leads to, "How can you handle working at a place that takes away people's homes?" questions. Once I bring up my employment at Fox News, the interaction ceases to be a conversation and instead becomes some kind of weird hybrid between a job interview and a police interrogation, except I'm not constitutionally entitled to a lawyer. But when I say I work in porn, I'm met with, "Oh, really? That's cool," because they don't want to seem judgmental. As for me, I'm also not judgmental about porn careers. In fact, a whole career in porn is objectively impressive, statistically speaking. Most can't make an entire career out of it. According to a CNBC interview with Stephen Hirsch, owner of Vivid Entertainment, the average female porn actress makes only between $800 and $1,000 per sex scene, and someone with bad representation might make as little as $300. Although I've never worked in porn or any kind of sex-related industry, I don't consider it, OnlyFans, or even boots-on-the-ground sex work to be anything other than another person's decision to make, which, of course, is none of my business. I don't even find it scandalizing.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.